Okay, without further ado, let's start our today's class. So today we're going to solve some mathematical problems because last class we have discussed about the theory part of these three concepts. First one was known as the interest rate parity. Second one was purchasing power parity. Third one was, but third one is actually an extension of two concepts that we have discussed earlier. Two concepts were interest rate parity and the purchasing power parity. The third concept was international Fisher effect. Now, in interest rate parity, we also discussed inside the interest rate parity that covered interest arbitrage. We already discussed about the arbitrage opportunity in the previous chapter. There were three kinds of arbitrage opportunity. First one was locational arbitrage. Second one was triangular arbitrage, and third one was covered interest arbitrage. I told you that I won't be able to cover interest arbitrage because we haven't been introduced the concept of forward contract. We have discussed about the forward contract. However, in this concept of interest rate parity, we will discuss about the covered interest arbitrage. We already discussed this concept in our previous class, but today, how we can use this concept in mathematical problem in real life situation that we will going to discuss today. Okay. Let's start the math. Let's see how to solve. So why this mathematical outline we have prepared here in here? Because in exam, theories will not come, however, maths will come and you need to solve it. And maths will be like in a real life basis maths. So I'll give you a scenario. Based on that scenario, we have to read out and understand what the question is asking you to do in the answer script, and then you answer. However, the maths are not difficult. Understanding the question is difficult, and understanding the question is a part of the exam. So it is simply multiplying, addition, subtraction, and division. It's not like rocket science. You don't have to differentiate or integrate. You don't need to use a calculus. You simply need to use the mathematical operators. But when to use those operators, how to use those operators, it is about the understanding. Okay, so let us start the math. So suppose that the treasurer of IBM is a company, has an extra cash reserve of 100 million. And they want to invest that for 6 months. So they have a 6-month time period and where they can invest their extra cash reserve 100 million. So 6-month interest rate is 8% per annum. So per annum means 8%. This 8% is given in an annual basis. So need to compound for a month. Okay, in United States. So I've already told you when I was discussing this concept that United States is the home, and any other country apart from United States will be our foreign country. So 7% per annum in Germany. So Germany would be the foreign country. Currently, the spot exchange rate is euro 1.01 per dollar, and 6 months forward exchange rate is euro 0.99. So it's about the forward rate with the interest rate. So in theory, discussed was the relationship with the forward rate and the interest rate. It talks about the interest rate parity. So IRP. What does it tell us about? It tells us about, let me put something, insert equations. Yeah. 1 plus IH divided by 1 plus IF. That will be in subscript. Okay, I cannot make it like a lookalike subscript. Okay. IF means interest rate of the home country divided by interest rate of the foreign country. And if we multiply with S naught S naught means zero, or the spot rate, you know. It will be in dollar by euro. How to put euro here? Let's see, where's euro? Does it have a euro here? It's kind of, hmm, okay, insert symbol. Here's the euro option. Yeah, give us a forward rate, isn't it? Yeah. This forward rate, in this form, and this is a efficient forward rate to IRP to hold. So this forward rate should be equal to the market's available forward rate. When this forward rate is equal to market's available forward rate, that means the market does not have covered interest arbitrage. Also means, or i.e., it holds interest rate parity. Also in interest rate parity, we also know that if there is interest rate differential between two countries, then the interest rate differential would be adjusted in such a way, it will have an effect on the forward rate such a way that there will be no cover interest arbitrage. So that is what IRP holds, states. Okay. Okay. Minimize the concept of IRP. Put it in here. Let us do the math. Okay. Hence, what is given? I have a cash of 100 million. So what I'm going to do, invest for 6 months. Invest for n equals to 6 months. Okay. Then what do you have? IH. Put it as a subscript. Okay, not now. IH is 8%. It is annual, right? Annual. And IF is 7%, which is also annual. Okay. Spot rate is equal to, oh, it is in euro by dollar. See, it's in euro by dollar. So if it is in euro by dollar, we can easily write, 1 by, isn't the same thing? Divided by, it will be 1.01. 1.0. equal to, what will it give us? Zero point 9901, suppose. Yeah, okay. It is given. Then what else is given? 6-month forward rate. The forward for 6. In which form? It is in euro by dollar form, isn't it? Yeah. Same thing will repeat, okay? But it will be F6, which is 0.99. It will have 1.0101. Okay. Okay. To see whether there is a cover interest arbitrage available in here, we need to see this thing to find out whether efficient forward rate is equal to the market's available forward rate. We need to check that, okay? Now we're going to check. So how we can check? Simply use this thing, okay? Okay. So what is 1 plus 1 plus IH is 8%, right? One plus 0.07. However, if you think, okay, sir, why not we compound for monthly? It doesn't matter if you compound it right now for monthly, you know, because if you divide or if you multiply 1 by 12 times 6 or half, it will cancel out each other, because same thing, you're dividing numerator and denominator at the same thing. So it will not have an effect. Okay. Into what was the forward? What was the spot rate? 0.9901. Okay. So how much do you get? 0.99935. So this efficient forward rate is not equal to, do you have, yeah, is not equal to this forward rate. Therefore, IRP doesn't hold, also means there is a covered interest arbitrage. Okay. So how he can or she can make the investment profitable. So the investor or the treasurer already has $100 million. So what he will going to do, he will convert 100 million convert to can you still not listen? Are you sure? Hello? Hello? It should. I mean, it should. Okay, you log out, then log in. You're not having, I think it is not. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
No, yeah. Okay. You can convert to euro. We already have euro. How we can convert? We have 100 million into the spot. So what I'm going to use in here, which rate? This one, okay? The S naught 1.01 because this is the current spot. Multiply with 1.01, or we can divide it with 0.9901, the same thing. Okay, so how much you will get? It will have euro balance, euro currency 101,000 and 000. Okay. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we have converted our $100 billion to euro. Now we're going to invest this euro in Germany. Invest in Germany for 6 months and we'll get, how much we'll get? This euro amount, and it will be compounded 1 plus how much? 7%, but 7% is annually. So we will get for 6 months. So it will be compounded for monthly. Now we need to use the compounding. Okay? Okay. Okay, what was the numerator? 0.07 into 6 months divided by 12. Okay. Now we close the bracket. Again, we need to close the bracket again. So what will be the value? It will give us, you calculate yourself, then you'll know. 104,53500. Okay. So you have in euro, now you need to convert to your own home currency, right? Convert to dollar. To convert to dollar, we use forward rate, right? Because you're already in the forward rate. And why will be in the forward rate? Because the treasurer does not wish to bear any exchange risk. So when a person doesn't want to bear any exchange rate risk or exchange risk, that means he or she wants to hedge his or her asset or money or currency. To hedge, they need to use a derivative instrument like forward, future, options, whatever. So in this method, we'll be using for forward contract. Okay, so this much money into which forward rate we'll be using? This one. Okay, so we can use euro by dollar. Now we can use dollar by, already solve for dollar by euro. So you can simply 1.0101. Okay, so you'll be getting in dollar. So how much that would be? Let me do it in my calculator. 1.0 into 1.010559080 3.5. So I'll write it on 4. Okay. So see. Okay, this much money he can make. So this is the answer. Okay, let us go to the next one. Okay, there's another point where he or she should invest to maximize the return. Okay, to maximize the return, you need to make a comment. So if he invest in his home country, then he would have earned 8% interest. So that will be the 8% annual return. However, 8% annual return should be compounded. If, okay, let me show you. If she or he had studied in USA, means home country, return would be IH 8% annual, but we need to compound for 6 months. How can we compound? Again, insert. Zero 0.08 into 6 divided by 12, because we're combining for 6 months. It will give us how much? 0.04 or 4%. So if he had invested in his home country for 6 months, he would have earned only 4% return. For okay, for investing in Germany, how much he would generate? We need to see what was his original amount. He started with this. He got this, right? So ending balance divided by beginning balance minus 1. Return was I do not know why it is almost ended up there. No clue. Oh God. Really? I have no clue why it is not getting there. Oh God. Okay. Okay, let's not do it. Okay. What's that? That would be ending balance divided by beginning balance minus 1. Okay. So what was the ending balance? 105,590,804 divided by 100, 100 million, right? 000 minus 1. We do it in the calculator. 105,590,804 divided by 10 minus 1. So it will give us 0.0559, which is, if we multiply with 100, it will give us 5.59%. Funny thing is, if you can see, for investing in Germany for 6 months, you're incurring 5.59% for half yearly taking the class. Please. Acha, okay, give me 5 minutes, okay? I'm coming, okay? Give me 5 minutes. Okay, sorry for my inconvenience. I'm back. As you can see, for investing in my home country for 6 months, I'm incurring only 4% return. I'm generating only 4% return. But when I invest in Germany for 6 months, I'm actually generating 5.59 or 5.6% return. So why not we invest in Germany and convert our dollar to euro, then invest in euro. Okay. This is how you do this math. Okay. So in space. Okay. So what you're going to do in here. So what does this math tells us about you too? Okay. Let us read it. While you were visiting London, you purchased a Jaguar for £35,000, payable in 3 months. So you purchased the Jaguar on account. After 3 months, you have to pay £35,000. You have enough cash at your bank in New York City, which pays 0.35% interest per month. So it's already been compounded. Okay. So you no need to require any adjustments. So already it's been monthly rate. Okay. Currently the spot exchange rate. So the current spot rate, it is $1.45 per pound, and 3-month forward exchange rate is 1.40 per pound. In London, the money market interest rate. So in the London, the interest rate is 2% for 3-month investment. So it's already in compounded. Okay. There are two alternative ways of paying for your Jaguar. So you can pay your accounts payable or your payable amount in two different ways. Option A, you can keep a fund at your bank in the United States and buy £35,000 forward. And option B, buy a certain amount of amount spot today and invest the amount in UK for 3 months so that the maturity value becomes equal to pound 35,000. Evaluate. So you need to evaluate whether to go for option A or option B. So we need to see which option costs us more. The option that costs us more, we will reject that option, and the option that costs us less or cheap, which option is cheap, we would choose that option. Okay. So let us do. Before we do the math, we need to do what? We need to see what information we are provided, right? Okay. So what's the first information? Accounts payable. So how much payable it is? It is pound 35,000, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. And what are the other? In 3 months, right? Okay. So what are the other? IH or IH. Interest rate in home country is 0.35. Already it is in monthly, so you need to further adjustment. We do not need any further adjustment. Let me write down. IF is also in monthly, right? Let me subscript it, better understanding. Okay. And spot rate given us in dollar and pound form, right? Okay, which is 1.45 And the forward rate for 3 months, right? Also given in dollar by pound. Which is 1.40. Okay. 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 So we have written down every information available in the question. Okay. Now we test option A. What does the option A says? We will buy a forward contract. Okay. For forward contract, our forward rate is this, right? And our payable was this. So if we use forward contract, payable in dollar would be this pound amount times the forward rate. How much that would be? 49,000, right? However, this $49,000, this is payable after 3 months. So this is actually the future value. But we are thinking, what is the cost right now? So need to discount back to get the present value, isn't it? So from the present value formula, we know PV is equal to FV divided by 1 plus R to the power N. So FV here is 49,000 divided by 1 plus R. What would be the R? It is simply 0.0035. This is in percent, okay? So we'll get and to the power 3 because 3 months. That will give us $48,489. Okay. So if we opt for option A, it will cost us this much money. So now we'll check option B. Make it. Sorry to make space, Okay. Option B. So what is the future value already? It is the 35. This is the payable in for 3 months, right? Okay. So we need to find the present value of it. Divided by 1 plus R. Here R will be used for UK. Sorry, for UK, because the currency is in pound. So we are discounting this pound in UK. So we'll use UK rate. Okay. So that would be 0.02 to the power 3. So how much we'll get in pound? That would be 34,314 pound. So if we want to pay the money right now, so we need to pay 34,314 pound. Okay, but it's in the option B. It said buy the certain amount of pounds. So we need to buy it at the spot price. So we are in USA. So I have to, we are not in USA. I'm a US citizen. So I will obviously not buy in pound. I need to buy the pound using the dollar. So what amount of dollars should it cost me to buy 34,314 pounds? So I'll be using the current spot rate. So it will cost me this pound into the current spot rate, which is 1.45. And you give us the dollar amount. How much that would be? 49755. Oh, okay. So if you opt for option B, it is my cost is 49,755. If you opt for option A, it is costing me 48,489. So which one is better? Of course, option A. It will save us some money. So option A will save me minus 1,299. So of course we opt for option A. We choose option A as a payment strategy. Okay. We did 2 maths. For number 3. Let us read the question. Currently, the spot exchange rate is $1.50 by pound, and the 3-month forward exchange rate is $1.52 per pound. The 3-month interest rate is 8% per annum. So 8%, that rate is given in an annual form. But we are saying it in a 3-month. So we need to compound. Okay. And 5.8% per annum in the UK. Again, it is in annual rate when it compound for 3 months. Assume that you can borrow as much as 1.5 million or dollar or £1 million. So you have 2 options. You can borrow $1.5 million or we can borrow £1 million. So which one you should borrow depends on which country has the higher investment opportunity. So you need to see before we invest, you need to see whether there is interest rate parity is available or not. If the interest rate parity holds, it means there is no covered arbitrage opportunity. And if there's a covered arbitrage opportunity, then the IRP will not hold. To check, we need to see whether there's the interest rate differential. As you can see, US and UK doesn't have the same interest rate, so there's interest rate differential. So the forward rate should be in line in such a way that there is no covered interest rate arbitrage opportunity. So we need to find out what should be the forward efficient rate. And we need to check whether the efficient forward rate is equal to the market's available forward rate. If it is equal to market's available forward rate, that means IRP holds, i.e., covered interest arbitrage does not exist, or if the efficient forward rate is not equal to the market's available forward rate, that means IRP doesn't hold, i.e., covered interest arbitrage opportunity available in the market. So basis on the depreciate and appreciate status, we borrow from one country and we invest in another currency, and we get back to the previous currency, convert back to previous currency. Okay, in question A, it is asking us determine whether interest rate parity is currently holding or not. To check whether currently holding or not, we need to find efficient forward rate. To find efficient forward rate. So what's available data? So spot exchange rate. You can copy it from previous. Okay. 1.50. Okay. The forward exchange rate, also copy. This 3 month, sorry, 3 month. It is 1.52. Okay. Now the interest rates. That's annual, okay? That's 5.8% annual. So we need to see whether IRP holds or not. Okay. Let's see. Copy the thing. So what is the interest rate? 0.08. Here it is 0.058. It's not euro, it will be pound. How much that would be? Okay, we didn't multiply it with 1.50. Okay. So how much that would give us? $1.53. So this is 1.53. And the forward rate that is available in the market is 1.52. So it is simply, it's not equal to this. Therefore, IRP doesn't hold means there is a interest, arbitrage, opportunity. Okay, so what does it mean in here? How can we interpret such thing? So in the market, you need to pay $1.52 for each pound. But efficient forward rate says you're supposed to pay $1.53 for each pound. So you're paying less for each pound, but you should pay more in the future, but you're paying less. So what does this mean? It means dollar is overvalued and dollar overvalued and pound is undervalued in the current market. So what do we do? We invest in undervalued, then we convert back to the overvalued. To invest in undervalued, we need to borrow from the overvalued amount, overvalued currency. So we borrow dollar, convert to pound, invest in pound, and after the time period, we convert pound back to the dollar. Okay? So what is, if IRP is not holding, how would you carry out the covered interest arbitrage? Show all the steps. Okay. So I told you A is done. Okay, okay, give me 1 minute, okay? Okay, give me 2 minute, give me 2 minute break, okay? Let me pause. Sorry for my inconvenience. I forgot to unmute myself. Okay. No worries. You just follow what I did. Okay. If you have any confusion, you ask in my class. I'll cherish to describe what I've done. Okay. Okay. Okay, you need to convert back. So what will be the convert amount? Amount would be scale. Okay, wait. Sorry for my intrusion. Okay. How much we get into 1.52? 154, that will be in dollar. 154 2040. Okay, this is amount I'll be having in my hand after 3 months. So I need to pay back. Pay back. How much? 1531212, and end up having 1542040 minus 1530000. Okay, so what will be the account? 2040 minus 1530000. Okay, which is 12040, isn't it? Okay, so this much money is my profit. Okay, is this profit is logical or not? Let us see. So let us the return. Return is how much money we're making, 140 divided by our original amount. 12040 divided by 150. It is 0. Okay, you will get a return. You don't need to calculate it right now. Okay. Because the question doesn't haven't asked us, hasn't asked us to do it. Okay, but you don't need to. Okay, number 3 is done. Okay, number 3, part C, what it says. Explain how IRP will be restored as a result of covered interest arbitrage activities. Okay, it will not be in the market forever. It will fade out. How? Dollar interest rate will rise, the pound interest rate will fall, the spot exchange rate will rise, and the forward exchange rate will fall. When these 4 things happens, the market forward rate tends to become the efficient forward rate that is in line with the interest rate differential or making interest rate parity hold the market. So there will be no covered interest arbitrage. This is how the arbitrage diminishes with respect to the time. Okay. Okay. Number 4, you do it on your own as an assignment. Okay. Number 5 is also you do it on your own. Okay, number 6. Let us do number 6. Okay. Or do we need number 6? Okay, before doing number 6, we should do number 7. Then we do number 6 and rest of them you do it on your own. Okay. Okay. Number 7 is nothing but the exchange rate between Brazilian real and US dollar. So this is the spot rate, Brazilian real per dollar, US dollar. It is in 1.95. Okay. The forecast says the inflation rate for US and Brazil was period of 2.6% and 20%. So it's talking us about the inflation. So in US, it is inflation was 2.6%, and Brazil is 20%. Okay. So in the inflation, because this math concept the inflation in the purchasing power parity, we discuss about when there is an inflation differential, the exchange rate should be in line in such a way that there is no arbitrage opportunity in the market. So from the inflation, what should be the efficient exchange rate, isn't it? So S prime. So what is the inflation differential for the US market? It's 0.026. To 0. So the rate should be 0.438. So we need to compare with in a form of this way. So to find out in this way, we need to do is equal to 1 divided by this one. So what does it mean? This is the forecasted exchange. This is how we forecast. So currently the exchange rate is 1.95 because inflation will take place in Brazil and USA because the Brazil is 20%. So before this inflation take place, we have to pay 1.95 Brazilian real for each dollar. But after the inflation take place, after 1 year, we forecasted the exchange rate will become 2.283, which means 2.283 for each dollar, you need to pay 2.283 Brazilian real. So Brazilian real will depreciate and US dollar will appreciate. And as you can see, the Brazilian real or in Brazilian currency, it is having a huge inflation. And it also suggests that when a country is having a huge inflation, the country's currency will depreciate against the other currency. So yeah. We can pause the video and again try to see and understand. Okay. This is where the purchasing power parity works. And number 6. Okay. Number 6 talks us about the interest rate in USA is 5.93% and Turkey to 70%. Okay. On basis of this report, can you predict the exchange rate between US and Turkish lira? So when we try to make the relation with interest rate with the exchange rate, what comes onto mind is first is Fisher effect. Irving Fisher was the first to identify this relationship between the interest rate and the exchange rate. Rather than using inflation, Fisher suggested us to use interest rate to forecast or predict what will be our exchange rate in the future. From the Fisher effect, we know interest rate differential, if the country is having interest rate differential, the exchange rate will be in line in such way that there will be no arbitrage opportunity. So we do the thing. Now we all do the shortcuts, okay? So spot rate. Directly we'll do the spot rate. Because we do not know the spot rate here, so we will not write a spot rate. We'll write P. P equals minus 1. Okay. So what is the IH? It is this. So we write 0.0593, 70%. It suggests us that the spot rate in dollar by Turkish lira is, suppose it is the value is X. then the forecasted spot rate would be x minus p. This p that we got x minus, sorry, x plus p, okay, plus p, because the value of p is minus 0.3768, so it will ultimately turn into minus. So whatever the value is, it will reduce. So what does it mean? We used to pay X amount of dollar to get some amount of Turkish lira, because this interest rate is differential is existing. So we need to pay 0.378 less. So now after 1 year, we need to pay less dollar to get Turkish lira. That means dollar has appreciated, and lira, dollar not has, dollar will appreciate, will be appreciated against lira. Means lira will be depreciated against dollar. So using this international feature effect. Rest you will do as an assignment. This one, this one, this one. Okay, so I hope today's class will be fruitful if you watch the video again and again and again. Next class we'll discuss it. Please do watch the video and make footnotes to ask the question in the class. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Take care. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow. See you next class.